everyone, and welcome to the FPL Gameweek 6 press conference stream with me, Holly Shand, and it's going to be yet another busy stream. I feel like I say this every week, but again, a lot of managers on wildcard this week and a lot of important injury news. So if you are here, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel as well. We've already heard from Arne Slot this morning on Alisson, who trained yesterday. Got to take part in full training today, but it looks like he will be back for Liverpool for the trip to Wolves. We heard yesterday that Brighton's João Pedro won't make the Chelsea game this weekend. Still a little bit in the dark here with exactly what's going on with João Pedro. We haven't got a return to play time frame or anything like that. And then we heard from Newcastle United and Eddie Howe this morning that Alexander Isak has a broken toe, which is not the greatest news. I know he's probably been the most sold player every single game week of the season so far, but he hasn't trained this week, so I'd be highly surprised if he did make the game against Manchester City. So they're the main headlines of what we know so far. I think we also saw Son go off potentially with a bit of an issue in the Europa League last night. We'll hear from Postecoglou really soon. I think I've put 1 o'clock on there, but I'm pretty sure Sky Sports said 1:15, so it must have slipped through the net, that one. Also, we're going to find out other news as well on David Raya, who could be available for Arsenal, or he might not be. There seems to be some kind of blurred lines on that of whether he'll be available or not. If you are here though, come and say hello in the live chat. I can see that Andy's saying very blurry broadcast. It says that I've got a good connection, so hopefully it's you and not me. If you are here, I'm a bit quiet as well, am I? Am I having tech issues already? Hang on. Mic's plugged in. Should be working okay. I can move the mic closer if that helps. Hopefully everyone is happy and you can see me and you can hear me. Let me just see what else I can do with this mic. 1 second. Everyone seems happy. Let's hop across then. My wildcard team is a bit of a mess. I am feeling a little bit concerned about that. We'll move on to that soon. I've got a Raya draft and a no Raya draft. I think I want to be tripled up on Arsenal either way, but I do want to jump across to the live chat. Hang on. I forgot at what time the press conferences are. So we're going to hear from Wolves at 1 o'clock, Chelsea and Spurs at 1:15, and then at 1:30, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Brentford, Palace, Fulham, Ipswich and Man City. So let's see what we've got to say in the live chat. See who is in. VJ was in very early and is modding, and he says, good morning all from a wet and windy Yorkshire. Yeah, it's wet and windy here as well. Bonkers LFC is in, as is Light Rays. Alex, good to see you. J-Dub is in. Ashley is on the wildcard this week. Is anyone else? Well, the poll's live, and it's a simple question this week. Are you on wildcard or not? It looks like about half of you are. So, you know, that's definitely going to be an interesting one to see how everyone is lining up. Shiraz is in. Good to see you, Shiraz. Have you mentioned about the Haaland goal scoring run? FPL Chicken is in Bradford. Bonkers, Ashley, good to see you. Scott is in from Kentucky. Odin is in, good to see you. Mr. Damie says, wow, Holly, I'm liking the graphics on your channel, well done. Mike says it's very grey and wet in Hove. Simon is in. You're not that late. Like a minute late. Don't worry. FPL Harry is in. VJ wants to get to the stream to 1,300 likes. Very ambitious start. We'll see how we go. So I'll put the news back on screen so that everyone can see where we are at with that. I can't see any evidence that the Chelsea, Spurs or Wolves press conferences have started yet. So let's head first of all to the bookmarks. This is the news. Hang on. Definitely pressed the button that I shouldn't have done there, haven't I? What have I switched off? There we go. There we go. Ben Dinnery updating us from Liverpool. Barring a reaction, Alisson will be back for this weekend. We think he is. He trained yesterday, part of the session, but of course we have to train fully today. FPL Juice seemed to be the in the nose on the Raya news, perhaps a little bit controversially. Raya is going to train, as the club are keen to give him minutes before PSG. They're doing everything possible to get him ready and now believe he will play this weekend, despite not being 100%. Now, it's worth noting that Arsenal do play tomorrow, so we could potentially get a leak. This was the one from Newcastle. Isak, toe injury, big doubt for Man City, hasn't trained all week. It's broken and it's stiffened up. After Fulham, Mark Target is also out, as is Callum Wilson. This is what we know from Spurs so far. Abdul said that he looked like he was injured himself while shooting. If it's a hamstring, then it could be a doubt. But Postecoglou had to say, I've spoken to him. He said he felt a bit tired, but I haven't spoken to him or the medical team yet. We should get an update from Pep on De Bruyne. Guardiola does not expect him to be sidelined for any significant period. I can't say how long. I don't know for Newcastle, but it won't be long. So that's the latest there. We've had a super chat in from Odin, who's also a member as well. Thank you, Odin. He says, what points are we all on? I'm on 386 points. Top 37k overall. That's fantastic. Well done. I'm not that high. I'm on 332 points, so about 55 points away from you. But it's a marathon, not a sprint. The wild card is in play, so we'll see how we go. Thank you for the super chat, though. I can see that Akshat is in and modding, asking for Raya news. It is coming at 1:30. Alvarez is suspended for West Ham. No new injury concerns for Southampton. A few bumps and bruises in the Leicester squad. So we'll see what see how that shakes out. No new news from Forest. Players returning for Everton. Branthwaite ahead of the curve. Garnegay has only just got back. Mikolenko is well and good again. Coleman a bit longer. This was the João Pedro update. Still problems and won't be an option for the weekend. This is all we know officially about Raya from Arteta, who said we don't know yet. He's got a muscular injury. I think that is it. Which is good timing because the Chelsea press conference has just started and Maresca has told us that Lavia is out of the Chelsea squad tomorrow. Oh no, sorry, I've read that completely wrong. Try that again. Lavia is in the Chelsea squad for tomorrow, but Reece James is out. So I'm not sure if that's going to have any impact on anyone's wildcard teams at all, but that is the information that we've got so far. No update on James, so no return to play, but he is the only one out for Chelsea. There's 600 of you in already, so thank you for joining, guys. If you are in, hit that like button and also subscribe to the channel. Lovely comment from Odin there, thank you. Beardy is in and says hello. It's very windy here today. I know we like a little weather update. British 87 says Arsenal leaks aren't happening. Unfortunately, we keep a tight ship. Yeah, it's really hard now. Like, honestly, I couldn't call the Raya situation. And while I'm hoping for an update from Arteta, I'm not sure if it's going to be something that's conclusive. And then it's really difficult to know where to go on wildcard. Whether you go with Raya or not. I don't really want to go with Raya and a 4.5 million backup. It's probably Raya Fabianski, but then you're risking not having a goalkeeper. Now, if there's only a risk of not having him this week, and I think he'll definitely be back for next week, then I could go with that. Because the thing is, if I was to double up with Saliba, that's an extra 500,000, and it would require some compromises elsewhere in the squad. So I am a little torn. If I just show you the wild card as it stands, this hasn't changed a great deal from the draft I shared. When was it? I think it was maybe Tuesday. My upload schedule has been all over the place, by the way, guys, because I've had my little girl's been poorly and that's kind of thrown everything off. But I have looked to... I've upgraded Vardiol to Trent. And I've also got Lewis in there as well. Now, to get Lewis in, I had to sell Jackson for Welbeck. Haven't got enough funds for Calvert-Lewin. So it's, I don't know. I don't know if I love the wildcard team. I'm still not sure where I'll end up. We'll see what happens on the stream tomorrow. I think I've warmed up to Lewis as a third defender, as long as I've got a good fourth defender, which in this case I have with Colwill. It's just the Chelsea investment. Welbeck's a bit of a risk, but you know, João Pedro's, we've not even got a return to play time for João Pedro. Welbeck played 90, I think, in the last game week, so I don't know. I don't mind going there at the moment. Right, let's see what else is going on this tweet deck then, because it seems to be going a bit mad. There's an interview with Postecoglou on TNT, but he is in for his press conference, so that should be happening anytime soon. The Wolves press conference is now underway as well. So I think we're okay for now. There's 800 of you in. It's just incredible. VJ said, please don't forget to vote for Holly in the Football Content Awards. I'm blown away this year because obviously I won the Best in Fantasy Football video last year. This year I've been nominated for 2 awards. The categories have changed a little bit, so it's now the Best in Fantasy Football Creators that I've been nominated for, but I've also been nominated in the Best in Video Creators, which is a wider category, so it's not just FPL content there, it's a wide category. So if you have enjoyed the content and you like the streams and you'd like to vote, then you can do so by going to the Football Content Awards website. I think it's pinned in the chat, but it's also in the description as well, so you can go vote for me in either of those categories. It's super easy to do, by the way, as well. I haven't done it yet. You don't need to vote for all of the categories, which makes it easier. So if you just head to that link, and then you can even shortcut to the category. So it's the Best in Video Creators. It's a stacked category for the fantasy football one. I'll obviously be voting for Hub, but yeah, I think there's 16 of us. FPL Harry is in there. I know he's in the chat. So yeah, you just select the ones. You don't need to vote in every category for every person. It doesn't matter if you don't want to vote for me, by the way. You can vote for another one on that list if you want, because you know they're all great. You don't even need to leave your voting details and then you vote, and then it's done. It's as easy as that. So go vote for your favourite fantasy football creator. I think the Arsenal press conference could be going on now. So Timber trained today. Arteta hopes he can play tomorrow. Same with Ben White. Mourinho could be back. On Raya, here we go. We have to wait another 24 hours. We have to wait 24 hours to see if it's looking good or not. It's not about risk. It is about a player being fit or available. We'll make a decision tomorrow. That's not very conclusive, is it? What are we thinking? I mean, hopefully we get a leak tomorrow that he's fit or he's not. I think I just need 2 plans, don't I, really? Arteta on Raya. We will make a decision tomorrow. So it is touch and go then. But I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that. I really want Raya, that's the thing. Do you know what? I might take the risk. Because I feel like my wildcard team fits better together with Raya in it. And I feel like if I don't go with Raya and double up on that Arsenal defence now, then I probably won't. And I don't really want to play 2 Arsenal defenders every week. But I think there's options there. Like, if I don't have a goalkeeper this week, it's not the worst thing. So we have to wait another 24 hours. We'll have to wait 24 hours to see if it is looking good or not. It's not about risk. It's about a player being fit or available. We'll make a decision tomorrow. That's what he had to say. Mascara obviously out for Wolves. Illness in camp. Bentley is fine. There's quite a lot of illness with players that we need to check. There's a virus going round. I mean, you look at this and you think Liverpool could... Like, I'm expecting Liverpool to have a field day against Wolves anyway. So it looks like Alfie Pond, who's probably a young player, is having to step up because of a bit of a injury, illness crisis. Which isn't great. Just looking in the chat, Kilrat, good to see you, mate. He said, hard call. I don't trust Arteta at all with comments like that. We know this. Arteta has a track record of lying to us and making it sound like a player is available when they're not. It's happened before. Jaws said it's not Arteta mind games, it's Leicester at home. I'm just not convinced either. It's a really difficult one. Michael says he's taking the risk. At the moment, I'm feeling like I can take the risk. I don't really want Saliba. I don't want to double up in the attack with Havertz. Tricky. Decisions. What are we thinking? Shall I do a poll? Let's say, would you go... Oh, I've got caps lock on. Would you go Raya on wildcard, yes or no? There's always a drama, isn't there? Even when it's like a straightforward week, you've got your wildcard active, there's still dramas going on to confuse us. So yeah, Raya decision will be made tomorrow. And we've also got news that João Pedro is out and Isak is also a big risk as well. There's quite a few kind of significantly owned players there that potentially won't be available. Raya, Isak, João Pedro. Like, well within the top 20 most owned players in the game. Perhaps a little bit ahead of that as well. So, it's another week, isn't it, where we've kind of just got to navigate our way through and hope for the best. Let's have a look how the poll's doing. If anyone's got any insight to drop in the chat as well. 58% is the early vote on who's prepared to go there. I'm just a bit stuck, really. So this, let me show you. So this is my current wildcard team. And this is the double Arsenal defence with Gabriel and Saliba. So I'd have to go, and it'd be triple Brentford, which I still need to have a think about, because while I don't think I will go with another attacking player from Brentford, having three already with Mbeumo, Flecker and Valdemarsson does kind of limit you a little bit. So it would be Gabriel, Saliba, Lewis, Colwill, Greaves. So there'd be no room for Trent. Saka, Palmer, Rodgers and Mbeumo. Could go Savio. I mean, it could go Trent. I do quite like the Savio shout. I like Lewis though. I don't know. I do prefer the Raya team, but obviously if I've not got a goalkeeper this week, then that's not great, is it? I've not got the funds to go with Neto as well. It blocks a third. You wouldn't want Neto because it blocks a third Arsenal elsewhere. Yeah, John says I would go with Raya because hang on. Wildcard is for longer term than just this game week. I agree. I think I can kind of absorb the pain this week for the long-term gain. Odin says Trent is a lock. Ollie says, I think the only difference with the usual Arteta mind games is that Arsenal reported the Raya injury news direct. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Harry says, surely Diblin over Winks. I just don't know about, like, Martin doesn't know what his best team is. And while Diblin's got a few minutes, I don't think he's going to consistently get minutes. Winks kind of does what he says on the tin. I'm not prepared to go with Dibbling. I don't want risks on my wild card. Sorry, I'm just pondering where to go. There's 1,100 of you in, which is incredible. So remember to like. We're only at like 200 likes, so we can definitely do better on the like count. And subscribe as well. If you subscribe, then you can also join in with the action in the chat as well. Yeah, Totti is a late fitness test, according to Gary O'Neill. So Arteta's gone early with his presser, just to surprise us. So Timber and White trained as normal was the other thing from the Arsenal press conference. So, yeah, we have heard from Wolves, Chelsea and Arsenal. We're still waiting for the Spurs press conference. I might go have a search for that one. And then also at 1:30, we're going to hear, so that's in about 7 minutes, we're going to hear from Brentford, Crystal Palace, Fulham, Ipswich and Manchester City. So it sounds like Rodri's had his surgery. So Pep was reluctant to rule him out for the season before, but surely he has to tell us now when it's an ACL like every other news outlet is reporting, and let us know that he's back. That he's going to be back next season. Also, we need an update on De Bruyne. Does anyone own De Bruyne? Probably not, to be fair. Yeah, so what did I say I was going to look for? Spurs news. Let's have a look on the Spurs website, if there's anything yet. Obviously, they were at home last night. Team news from United. Oh, no, we don't want that. That's not helpful, is it? Menu. News. No, nothing at the moment. Yeah, so I'll have to be patient waiting for Spurs. Yeah, I just don't know, Raya or no Raya. 60% would go Raya despite the news, which is interesting. Yeah, Villa press conference is late and unpredictable. I am going to be finishing off at 2 o'clock today, so in about 35 minutes, because I've got to go to my kids' school for a little event this afternoon. Shiraz is captaining Salah over Haaland for the extra point for a clean sheet and a goal. I think that we'll get a very good game week out of Liverpool, which is why I really need Trent in. Alisson news. Alisson's back. Wolves are going to have to like play the kids to get a defence out, which is ridiculous. It looks like the Crystal Palace presser is going on. Chris Richards has a hamstring injury. I'm sure I've got him in one of my draft teams. Rob Holding training with the under-21s. Here comes Shiraz with the weekly prediction. Haaland will break Vardy's goal-scoring run. New revised like target is 850. We're nearly at 300. We're not doing bad at all. Keep subscribing as well, guys. Sibba said used wildcard last week. This Raya injury is now a big headache. Yeah, I get that. This is interesting from James Bench, who's a CBS correspondent. He said it's really interesting how frank Arteta is about the difficulties for his team without Odegaard. I mean, they looked great against City. FPL Amateur says people sleeping on Watkins. This is an interesting one. The Fantasy Football Hub AI team. So this is the most optimal team to choose on wildcard, according to the AI predictions. As Watkins in, Flecken in goal, Gabriel Saliba and Robertson over Trent for the 1 million saving. Midfield of Saka, Eze, who I've not seen in any wildcard teams, and Burmo and Semenyo. And up front, Haaland, Wood, Watkins, Rodgers on the bench, as is Greaves and Fairs. By the way, guys, with Fantasy Football Hub, the 50% off offer and the win your mini league or your money back, those offers both end this weekend. So it's your last opportunity to get it at the cheapest rate for this season. It'll be a lot more expensive next week. So if you are on a wild card, then I'd highly recommend checking out the Hub tools in the next 24 hours. And it'll also give you help with your, transfers and decisions for next week. But the link for that is in the description. So make sure that you go in and checking it out, because it's just going to get more expensive from here. That offer is ending. We've got another super chat in from Odin, much appreciated. Haaland, Salah captain. I have both, and will Lewis start? I mean, I'll be streaming for the deadline tomorrow, and City are the early kickoff, so we should get some news on the availability. Sorry, on the team sheet for Lewis, whether he's in the 11 or not. That's going to be quite important if you are on a wild card and wondering whether to include him. Haaland, Salah captain. Personally, I'm going Haaland, but you look at Salah, there's not a lot in it. Haaland's predicted to score 8.1 points away at Newcastle. Salah's predicting to score 7.8 points away at Wolves. On paper, I think the fixture's easier for Salah. I think the other thing to bear in mind with Haaland is that he's just in ridiculous form. Yeah, so the AI wildcard in full is Flecken in goal, Gabriel, Saliba, Robertson, Saka, Eze, and Burmo, Semenyo, Haaland, Wood, Watkins, Rodgers on the bench with Greaves, Fez, and Fabianski. Right, let's see what else is going on the tweet deck. Looks like Pep is in and ready for his 1:30 press conference. Defarsha said, what did Arteta say? Nothing that helpful, to be fair. He said that we'll have to see in the next 24 hours and that we'll make a decision tomorrow. Femi says, so many people going Calvert-Lewin on a wild card. I don't trust Everton, and I think Chris Wood is better. Agreed. Oh, good luck, Odin. I think that's a nice shout. A decision will be made tomorrow, Dimitri. So I don't think Raya or Arteta know if Raya's going to start tomorrow at this point. There we go then. What we expected from Pep. Rodri had surgery this morning for an ACL injury. Next season he will be here. The season is over. I mean, he could have told us that 4 days ago. I think if we were watching it, you could tell that it was probably an ACL. It was like... didn't even seem anything significant either, did it? What do we think of City without Rodri? Let me know in the chat. I mean, it's one of those, isn't it, that City have started the season very well without Rodri. Like, he'd only played like 70 minutes across a couple of games. So it's not like... I know last season it was the 3 games they lost were the 3 games that Rodri wasn't available. But this season, he's barely been involved and have won 4 and drawn 1 against Arsenal. So... it's the defence, isn't it? And this is the thing. Birdie says Gundogan will play more. I think Kovacic is going to be the natural. Gundogan, I don't think he is a DM anymore. It's quite interesting. Tomiyasu has returned to partial training for Arsenal. So it will be competition for minutes with White down the line. Yeah. Amateur says City is best without Rodri, no problem. Yeah, this is the thing from AI. City without Rodri makes me feel better about Lewis and worse about their other defenders. This is why I didn't go with Vardiol in the end on the wild card. Just can't see the clean sheets without Rodri being consistent. But Lewis becomes more important to the team because he can invert and do a job. I think it will help with minutes. Colm says Stones to play further forward. I think we'll maybe see Kovacic being subbed for Stones. I don't think Stones is going to kind of disrupt the midfield spots at the moment. We'll see what happens though. What we want is a De Bruyne update though as well. Pavi says Palmer, João Pedro out for Saka, Wood in. What do you think? I don't think I'd sell Palmer. João Pedro to Wood, if you can do that as a straight swap, then do it. Tiggy said Newcastle midfielder beast. No, Rodri can only help Newcastle. Yeah, so we're still waiting for the De Bruyne update, which I would imagine would be next. I'd be surprised if De Bruyne is available for Newcastle. Again, it's not the best news if he's not. So we'll see what we get. While we're waiting, make sure to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Rodri will slow down Haaland's goal scoring. Well, he's had his best ever start to the season. And Rodri didn't even start the first 3 games. Here we go. This is the De Bruyne news. Kevin De Bruyne is ruled out of Newcastle v Man City on Saturday, confirms Pep. Again, no surprises there whatsoever. So yeah, no De Bruyne, no Rodri. So it's going to be Kovacic. I don't know. It's really difficult. Like, I think if City didn't have all of these injuries, then on wildcard, you would probably consider tripling up. Like, I've toyed with it. I've toyed with having Savio, Lewis and Haaland. I just don't know if it's on. Tell you what, let me know if you're on a wild card this week. Let me know in the chat how many Man City players you're going for. Like, obviously everyone's going to have Haaland. Are you going to have anyone else? That's the question. This is predicted line-up from Blue Tone, which is Edison in goal. Lewis, Akanji, Diaz, Vardiol, Kovacic, Gundogan, Foden, Savio, Grealish, Haaland. But then Blue Tone has said, have a feeling Pep may go Walker. Is anyone else looking at Savino? I don't even know how to say his name. It says Savino on his shirt. It says Savio on the FPL website. So that's another thing to confuse us. Super chat in from Dimitri. Thank you, Dimitri. Asks, Raya, Gabriel, Robbo, Lewis, or Flecken. So it's Raya and Lewis, or Flecken and Vardiol. Raya and Lewis, I think. Other than Raya might not play this week, but long term, yeah, Raya and Lewis over Flecken and Vardiol. I don't think Vardiol's going to be worth his money, because I think even though Lewis is a rotation risk, I think Lewis is going to play a lot of games, and while Lewis is playing, Vardiol is deeper. He's not the same Vardiol that we saw last season. Just on that then, let's see what we had. Quite a few responses in. Birdie's going 2, Mod's going 2, FPL Amateurs going Haaland Lewis, quite a few Haaland and Lewis. Jaws is going just Haaland, as is Lalex. Shiraz says Savio is locked because his partnership with Haaland is great. And yeah, I think that's just going to come to the fore, but I just don't know how good City are going to be this season. I think it's going to be, I know they've had a great start to the season, but when these fixtures start to mount up with Champions League, I think they're going to struggle. I mean, when I say struggle relative to how well they've played the last few years. Who do you think is going to win the league this season? Let me know that as well in the chat. Who's going to win the league? People think Liverpool will win. That would be huge. First season under Arne Slot. Watkins to Havertz, asks Emad. I think I'd keep Watkins. Is that a joke, John? Simon's got it to me. His name is Savio, but the suffix ino in Portuguese mean little diminutive. It said Savinho, basically means little Savio. I'll just call him Savio then. Lots of Arsenal fans in the chat by the looks of it. Although Ashley says I'm an Arsenal supporter but can't see past City at the moment. Light Race kind of summed it up saying Rodri injury evens up the title race. I think this is really interesting from Pep. Kovacic and Lewis is a solution to Rodri and absence. We have other solutions. Gundogan Stones can play there too. We wish... oh yeah, this is the news of the CEO at Newcastle who is stepping back due to illness. But yeah, Kovacic and Lewis, that is significant. That bodes well for Rico Lewis and minutes this season. I really believe that. Shall we have a look at my wildcard team? If I look at my... I can't look at my team, and this is the thing that's bothering me, because every time I go on the FPL website, I've got like this weird team because I've been trying to get the price rises. And then I have to kick everyone out. Like, that defence is really strong for me as a back three. Raya in goal, and then Gabriel, Lewis and Alexander-Arnold. I'll probably go Colwill, fourth defender, first sub. And then in the midfield, I just really want Palmer. Winks, I'm happy, is my fifth mid. He's probably going to be behind Colwill most weeks for starts anyway. Danny Welbeck is the contentious one. I cannot... Even if I wanted Calvert-Lewin, I can't afford Calvert-Lewin. I don't think I do. But yeah, this is potentially where I'm at with the wild card at the moment. Tell me what you think. Please don't roast it though. Oh, thank you, VJ. I mean, we've got 24 hours, probably more like 21 hours to lock this in. I just don't trust Diblin. I know there's a lot of fans of Diblin. He started 2 games so far this season. I just don't know if it's on. The Diblin thing. I know lots of people like him. I'm just not that sold. So, there's a few comments on Diblin. FPL Onions won a pen in the first, scored in the second. Harry says if Archibald had scored the pen he won in game week 4, he'd be an obvious buy. I mean, I'm not against it. I don't know. I guess I could go there. I guess he's attacking, isn't he? Winks is a DM. Diblin's much higher. Why Welbeck? Well, I can't afford Calvert-Lewin. I'm not bothered about Calvert-Lewin. Welbeck, I think, will do well with João Pedro out in terms of minutes. Any more presses to come? Yes. So still waiting on Spurs. Bournemouth. I think the Brentford one's ongoing, as is Palace. So it's Spurs, Bournemouth, Fulham, Ipswich. Let's have a look at what we've got then instead of sorting out my wildcard team. This is from Ipswich. McKenna trained ahead of the Villa game. Calvin Phillips has trained almost a fully fit squad. From Palace, Franco and Chalobah are available, but Franco won't be in the squad after it was his first complete week with us. Richarlison back out of the grass on the grass at Spurs. Thomas Frank said he'd prefer to have less injuries, but I don't know if we've actually had injury news. Our Norgard's going to be a close call. So yeah, there's still a few to check in from. I guess the Spurs press conference is the main one that we're kind of waiting for, that we haven't seen any evidence of yet. Harry says, as a Solanke buyer, we need Richarlison back so he can play all the midweek games. John says, still feel like Palmer is overpriced for my liking. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I guess the upside of Palmer is that he's absolutely nailed for the Premier League minutes. There's 1,200 of you in. You cannot all be subscribed to the channel already. So if you are in and you're watching, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers, the better. And if you're subscribed, then you can write in the chat as well. Right, I was going to... Oh, here we go. This is Postecoglou with an injury update.
Tired, the ones who put in the shift. I think apart from Sonny, everyone's okay. And Sonny, I don't think it's too bad, so he wants to train tomorrow, so we'll obviously see how it goes at training tomorrow and make a decision from there.
So there we go then. So Sonny isn't too bad and should train tomorrow is the update from Postecoglou. I know you can't hear it. Yeah. But yeah, that's the update. Apart from Sonny, everyone is okay. I don't think it's too bad. He wants to train tomorrow. Got another day up our sleeve to give him an extra chance. We'll go from there. So that's good news. I think, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it, that we've seen in the past that Son is one of those players who can just overcome issues and suddenly make himself available. So I think we're doing okay in terms of the press conferences now. We've heard from Arsenal. Have we seen anything from Bournemouth? I think Bournemouth we haven't seen anything from. Brentford, Palace. Fulham was another one, although their press conference wasn't that well advertised. So let's check the Fulham website and the Bournemouth website and see if we can see what's going on. I mean, I'm not expecting big injury updates. Pre-Forest press conference. Yeah, it doesn't look to be anything there then. Bournemouth. I'm sure it said Irola was on at 1:30. No sign of it at the moment. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Yeah, so in terms of my wild card team then. I think I'm getting talked into Dublin. Other than that, would you change anything? I guess the issue is if Raya is out, then I've not got a goalkeeper. And I think if I was going Saliba, I'd have to... It'd be Trent that went. And I don't want to do that. So... I think I might just have to go with it as it is. Tricky. I don't know. Yeah, Son has got a little bit of an issue. Let's round up everything that we know. I'm just going to have to hit the refresh button on this as well. I lost the tab it was on. Give it a refresh. Norgard is a close call for Brentford. Richarlison is back on the grass at Spurs. Chalabar's back for Palace. Calvin Phillips has trained for Ipswich. And they will have a fully fit squad. Pep has suggested that Rico Lewis can help to deputise for Rodri. De Bruyne is out of the game against Newcastle. Tomiyasu has returned to training for Arsenal. Rodri has an ACL injury and his season is over. Glasner reports that Chris Richards is out for the next few weeks with a hamstring injury. Totti is a late fitness test for Wolves. Bentley is fine, but there's a lot of illness going around at Wolves. They may need to play the kids against Liverpool. Arteta had this to say on Raya. We have to wait another 24 hours. We have to wait 24 hours to see if it is looking good or not. It's not about risk. It's about a player being fit or available. We will make a decision tomorrow. Timber trained today. Arteta hopes he can play tomorrow. Same with Ben White. Marino progressing well. Could be back next week. Lavia is in the Chelsea squad tomorrow. Everyone available for Chelsea other than Reece James. Barring a reaction, Alisson will be back this weekend for Liverpool. We think he is. He trained yesterday, but of course we have to train fully today. Isak is still nursing a toe injury and is a big doubt for Manchester City. Hasn't trained all week. Toe is broken and stiffened up after the Fulham game. Target and Wilson are also out. West Ham, against Brentford have Alvarez out with suspension. No new injuries at Southampton. Few bumps and bruises in the Leicester squad. No new news from Forest. Everton, Branthwaite is ahead of the curve. Gay is back. Mikalenko is well again. And João Pedro has some problems still and won't be an option for the weekend. Not sure when he will be available. There will be some embargoed quotes from these press conferences as well, so they're worth keeping an eye out for before the deadline. Speaking of the deadline, I will be live tomorrow. I'm going to start early. I think I've scheduled it for 9:30. But yeah, tomorrow I have my wildcard team to lock in. So come and join me tomorrow. If you click on the link, then you can hit the notify button and it will tell you when I go live. Also a reminder that it's the last chance to get 50% off at Fantasy Football Hub. And the great thing with this is that you can also tell them which mini league you want to win, and if you don't win your mini league, you'll get a full refund. So you can, as long as your mini league's got less than 100 people in, and you're using the Hub tools every week. If you've had a terrible start, then use Hub all season to help you improve. You'll probably get a refund at the end of the season if you don't win your league, if there's someone else flying in your league. So, it is well worth checking that out. And final plea. Well, on your way out, you need to vote. You need to like the stream. You need to subscribe to the channel as well. But also, if you're enjoying my content so far this season, you can vote for me at the Football Content Awards. You can vote for me in 2 categories. So if you want to vote for another fantasy football creator, then you can just vote for me in the best in video creators. But if you wanted to vote for me in both best in fantasy football creators and best in video creators, then that'd be amazing, because I won this last season, so I want to try and defend my title. A massive thank you though to everyone that has supported the stream. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow for the deadline stream. Thanks for watching.